Yo, what it do, everybody? This is DC Day on Sixth Element of Hip Hop. I am Reno Noir. This is your co-host Stu Dog and Spadeonomics Comics. What's happening, guys?
What's going
What's
on, man?
going on?
Yes, sir.
Man,
Yes, sir.
we just hanging out, man, and we uh we got we I want to talk about my crew on Instagram is doing something completely unique, completely crazy, completely unheard of in the comic community. We are giving away a short box full of 150 plus comics, no dollar bin crap. These are good comics of at least the value of this box is we're estimating between $1,000 and $1,500 for this short full of comics plus 4 slabs. So you're getting a short box, 150 plus comics, $1,000, 1,500 value plus 4 slabs that are up in that value to maybe closer to 2 grand. And what do you have to do to win this prize? Just shop with the Madmen of Comics. This is not a raffle. You don't have to buy spots on the raffle to get in there. It's just to get on that prize wheel. All you got to do is be one of our customers, spend at least $50 with any one of us between now and December 3rd. We spin the wheel on December 4th. Whose ever name it lands on wins this crazy new prize that no one has ever done on IG. People have done prizes where it's like a slab or, a big comic, but no one's ever given away a short box full of comics. Not like I said, no dollar bin crap. It's not like a short box full of a bunch of crap. It's a short box full of books that we would sell on our lives for at least $10 to $50 a piece. Now, like I said, you don't have to buy a spot to be in this. It's not like a raffle. All you do is you spend $50 with me at my store. You buy $50 worth of comics. So you're doing that anyway. You're getting 50, but you're getting comics for your money for your $50. When you do that, you get a free spot on the wheel. If you spend $150, you get 3 spots on the wheel. However, every time you spend $50, you get a free spot on the wheel to win that grand prize. And that's with me, with Bygone AI, with Shags, with Zorro, uh with who else? Let me give y'all the exact list of people. So if you buy with Bygone AI, Panda Pictographis, Shags Comics and Toys, Defective Chimp, Fat T, Zorro, Dewan, or Sixth Element Comics, or Opti Comics. All right, there's 8 of us in the Madman of Comics that sell comics on Instagram. If you spend $50 with any one of us between now and December 3rd, you get a free spot on that wheel, and you can win that huge $1,000, $1,500 short box full of 150 plus comics and the 4 slabs, absolutely free. It's just how we want to give back to the community, man. That has supported us so much, over this past couple years, and we just want to give back, man, and show our appreciation. So we figured out how can we give back without, we don't want to sell spots on the raffle. We wanted to figure out a way to give this to somebody. And so we figured, look, if you're a customer of ours and you spend at least $50 with us, you qualify. That's it. So you're not buying a spot on the raffle for $50. You're buying comics for your $50 that you would buy anyway, and you get a free spot on the wheel. So it's literally a Christmas. It's a gift. We're calling it the Xmas Extravaganza, and we having fun with it. Shout out to Corey Adger in the chat, and Diamond Onyx. Salute, Queen. And yeah, man,
salute everybody. Salute Corey Ash, Donna Onyx, Queen. Salute.
yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. All right, so this is DC Day. Oh yeah, also shout out to the Comics Lounge. I was on their show last night. They invited me to come on to talk about what we were doing on Instagram, the big short box giveaway. It's making waves, it's making ripples through the community right now, because like I said, this is the first time that's ever been done. Nobody's ever given a gift like that, a prize like that. And so shout out to the Comics Lounge. I was on their show last night. Pretty cool group of cats, man. And but definitely go follow the Comics Lounge.
Nice.
All right, and this is DC Day. All right, meaning we just talk DC, man. We talk DC related things, DC, be it comics, be it the DCEU shows, whatnot. But I do want to mention, man, I can't can't pass up the fact I'm so giddy. Uh, X-Men, the animated series, is coming back. They're
Yeah, just
continuing
seen
it.
it.
Yep, continuation from the last episode of the 1997. It's called X-Men 97. It's gonna be on Disney Plus, and I can't wait. All I'm really anticipating is how they're gonna screw it up. What are they gonna change? What are they gonna change, and how they
It
gonna?
might be better, Reno. It might be better, man.
It should be. It damn well should be because they've got better animation now. So because look, as dope as that show was, the animation was horrendous. It was damn near fucking single cell. It was terrible. But the art style, the drawing was great. It's just the animation of the art was very poor quality. But we loved it. We didn't care. That's my favorite show of all time. Then probably followed by the Batman animated series. But speaking of the Batman animated series, this is DC Day, so we definitely want to.
Well, speaking of Batman,
Let's speak of Batman.
Abyss, Abyss, Batman's newest and greatest foe right now, is actually sort of like Batman. He uses the same tactics as Batman does, and he's been using these tactics against Batman, striking from darkness in order to achieve his goal. But that's what Abyss does, and
Right.
he's been using this against Batman. A lot of people don't really know a lot about Abyss. Abyss appeared in what Batman? I think it's Batman 118. Because I know from like Batman 99 up to like 118, bro. It's been a ride, but it's been
Oh
great.
hell yeah,
It's been a
yeah.
ride, but it's
Clown
been great.
Hunter,
Clown
yeah,
Hunter, yeah,
Clown Hunter, all of that, man. It's been phenomenal.
yeah, yeah. It's been real phenomenal. Grab those comics if you can.
Yeah,
They're
definitely.
Oh,
yeah.
Anything from like the Tom King on to the Tinian, it's been great. Like I love Tom King's run, man. I loved it. I love what he did there. I like how he killed Alfred. Not that I didn't like Alfred, but I thought that was a bold move. And yeah, it didn't piss people off like I thought it might. And it made for some great storytelling, some great drama. I love when comics have stakes. I love when main characters can die, and it's not like everybody's safe.
hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna chime in.
Okay.
All right.
No, nobody's safe. No, nobody's
Yeah,
safe. It should
you
be
know,
like that. It
yeah.
should be like that.
Bane, City of Bane was great. Bane's one of my favorite characters, definitely one of my favorite Batman villains of all time, hands down. No question. He doesn't get his just due though. I think he's mad underrated, underused. He's a
Oh God,
genius
yeah.
and he's
And
huge and
misrepresented.
he's got a dope design. Like we should see
Very
more of Bane.
misrepresented. Very misrepresented in the movies.
Very much
Um,
so. Cartoons. Because
Nah,
they always make him into a big dumb thug, but he's a mastermind, bro.
nah, he's a mastermind. He's a boss. Yeah, Bane is a
Hmm.
boss, and Bane is also Spanish.
Right.
Um, and he has a
Absolutely.
deep accent in the comics. So I don't
Absolutely.
understand why he just doesn't have an accent
Yeah. They
anywhere
always make
else.
him
I don't know.
a big white guy or something.
Right, and he's not. He's
they gave
Spanish.
him an accent in the cartoons now.
Did they?
In the cartoons,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the
In the
cartoons,
cartoons.
Bane has an accent. He has a Spanish accent now.
That's good. Because even his costume, people don't realize that's a luchador costume.
It's a luchador,
Right.
yeah. It's a luchador mask, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
he
wrestling,
even
yeah.
wears the damn unitard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sing.
I mean, but so Batman Detective, Huge Shadow of the Bat, explained DC Comics Shadows of the Bat is going to be a game changer for the Bat family with Batman absent. Here's an explainer about everything that we know. DC Comics has teased that the upcoming Batman event titled Shadows of the Bat will see big shakeups to the Bat family. The new Batman event follows on from Fear State and is the latest in a slew of recent, line-wide events. Future State kicked off DC's year after the conclusion of Dark Knight's death metal. This potential future saw the introduction of Tim Jace Fox, The next Batman, the Black Batman, among many other changes to the Bat family. Batman's absence from Gotham City and Shadows of the Bat hints that DC is moving closer to the potential future that is seen in Fear State. Fear State has shown the inception of Simon Saint's magistrate program, the tyrannical rulers of Gotham's future. The Bat family has had to grapple with the takeover of this anti-vigilante army, which as well as Scarecrow's machinations. In the aftermath of that event, Shadows of the Bat will see Gotham left without Batman for unknown reasons. It's possible that with the threat of Saints peacekeepers and Scarecrow out of the way, he deems Gotham safe enough for him to leave for an undisclosed period of time. And it's also been confirmed that Batman's disappearance has some people thinking that he's dead, given that he would normally never leave his post as Gotham's protector, historically. But everything will begin in the November release of Detective Comics 2020 Annual from Mariko Tamaki, Matthew Rosenberg, David Lapham, and Trish Mulvihill. Detective Comics 2021 Annual will lead into a 12-week long storyline in the pages of Detective Comics, which is another great title. I love Batman Detective, Detective Comics, Legends of the Dark Knight. There's a few, man, anthology that they're great. But Shadows of the Bat will deal with Batman's unprecedented decision to leave Gotham and how the Bat family steps up to fill in for him. So it's like, we'll see all those, like Black Batman, Batgirl, probably, I don't know, Nightwing might be in there,
Bad Ink, Bad Ink,
right,
yeah, all the Robin iterations,
right.
they'll all be in there.
Yeah, even characters like Harley Quinn, who has been showing up recently in James Tynion's Batman run, which we were just talking about, will be around to take care of Bruce Wayne's beloved home city. Of course, Batgirl, like I said, and Batwoman will also remain as active protectors of the city. Perhaps one of them will set up to be the definitive go-to hero like Batman used to be. Yeah, Gotham's visiting hero Nightwing will be present for sure at the start of the event. And, as he and Batman get into an argument over Arkham Tower, this proposed new replacement for the recently blown up Arkham Asylum will be located in the center of the city. Obviously, a new place, to store Gotham's troubled individuals and villains is needed. But relocating the most dangerous villains Batman's ever faced in the middle of Gotham, surrounded by civilians, is not the best idea in the least. But this one will be, one of the initial problems that the heroes of the new Batman event will have to tackle, as teased in Detective Comics number 1044. But as expected, at the start of many major comic book events, the new villains are inbound as Shadows of the Bat begins, taking care of Arkham Tower. Dr. Weir is a new character who will be seeing to Gotham's most deranged criminals with the use of experimental drugs, akin to Scarecrow's dangerous practices, his style of things. Right now, Dr. Weir seems to be teetering the line of being a curious scientist and slipping into full-on villainy by utilizing his new patients for his own nefarious deeds. Interestingly, though, it's been teased by DC that Dr. Weir could possibly be an established villain in disguise. Have you guys seen or read any of this? Do you guys even know about Dr. Weir? I had not heard of him before. Is he a new character?
Obviously, yeah, because I haven't heard of Dr. Weir.
No,
Me personally, I'm thinking he might be Hugo Strange.
that's what I was thinking.
I haven't heard of Dr. Weir, but then that's not unheard of. He probably is a new character, but at the same time, Batman's rogues gallery is so extensive. There are people who are huge Batman fans who don't know who Professor Pig is.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you call yourself, Penguin, Joker, Riddler, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, all them, from lore. But you don't know Professor Pig, you don't know Calendar Man, you don't know Kite Man, you don't know Cat Man, you know what I'm saying? You don't know these lesser known Batman villains. So
you don't
it could be one of them. I'm
Ventriloquist.
unfamiliar with that character, so but it could be one of them. It could be somebody else new.
Yeah,
Could be. Yeah.
yeah,
Because I mean,
absolutely.
we all know the obvious ones. We know Riddler, Bane, Penguin, all that. A lot of
Mm.
people don't, but a lot of people don't talk about race. They don't talk about race.
No.
Hugo was a new, and Hugo only became popular with the video game. A lot of people didn't know about that. Man Bat is another big one that people don't. And Zaz. Zaz is like one of his,
Yeah,
Zaz
Victor
is
Zsasz.
really,
Yeah,
the
he made a
ventriloquist.
name.
Well,
Ventriloquist
Yeah,
is my dude,
Yep.
though. I like ventriloquist. I like
Everybody talks about ventriloquist.
that
Talia
gangster.
Ghul. The ventriloquist. Firefly is another one.
Firefly
Batman's
is
had
another.
has had a lot of trouble with. And like you said, you talk about big Batman fans.
And
They
they're
don't
in
mention
Gotham,
those
though.
guys.
Yeah, they gotta look. Even that show Gotham has those characters. A lot of those characters you just named are in Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
Firefly, yeah, Zaz, Man Bat, yeah, Diamond Eyes. Seen it. There's Batman and there's Man Bat. So Man
Mm-hmm.
Bat is like a big bat. Looks like a big bat creature, but he's like humanoid. So
It would
Well,
be like
he's
best
but
way
actually
he's
I
like a
forget what
scientist.
he was a scientist. He took like a form and turned him into
Kurt
a man bat.
Langstrom. He was trying to
Kurt
cure
Langstrom, yeah.
deafness, and he
Yep.
experimented with bats and made a
Sonic.
serum. Basically, turned himself into a werebat. So whereas
Yeah.
like a werewolf or werebat, he became Man Bat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. I always love Batman's rogues gallery. Like Batman to me definitely has like the coolest villains in comicdom. That's just my opinion. But speaking of,
Well,
his
they put a lot of them, on the animated series, which I thought
oh
was
yeah,
dope. But some of them you couldn't put. Like you couldn't put Zaz on the animated series. There's a couple of them you
He's
couldn't
violent.
put. Yeah, you could put Jervis
No,
on
but
there.
like
Jervis is cool.
yeah, like Two-Face. I mean, Two-Face and
Mhm.
Joker to me,
Yeah,
they're just mad
Zaz.
gangster. I love
Yeah,
them.
Zaz is a little too much. Zaz is a little too much. Yeah, and every time, and he's got to kill. So somebody's got to die when Zaz
Right.
is around, and
They could have
that's
done it, but they would have to do it in a way where it's kind of implied, so to speak.
Suggestive.
Don't twist on it.
Yeah. Right. They imply the murders. He's got all
Mhm.
the slash marks all over him, the checks
Mhm.
that he scars himself with every time he kills somebody. But Joker of DC's future is literally a computer virus. So that's,
Hmm.
I mean, they're going crazy with it. Like in the far future of DC 1 million, Batman's nemesis, the Joker, but he's turned into a literal virus who can possess anybody.
That's
What is
crazy stuff.
Yeah, the Joker of the far future, he's no longer a human man or even human, but he's a sentient computer virus. And Batman's got to fight him regardless. The clown prince of crime has a habit of cheating death. Admittedly, a common trait among heroes and villains in Marvel and DC alike. But in the DC 1 million crossover event, he's transformed into pure computer code. No longer even calling himself Joker. His this eternal nemesis of Batman of the future is known simply as the Laughing Virus.
Hmm.
1998 DC 1 million DC Comics writers imagined a future in which all premier DC titles would reach their 1 millionth issue. And they calculated it would take until the 853rd century to do so, and thus created a Justice League of that far, far future. Time travel and hopping between dimensions has become a regular occurrence, and the Justice League defends their worlds accordingly. The entire solar system has been colonized by humanity in DC 1 million. Each superhero guards a different planet. Green Arrow guards Earth. Mercury is dedicated to the Flash, who isn't actually from the 853rd century, but a time traveler from the past. And Batman presides over Pluto, a prison planet holding the worst offenders in the system. In the story's system's finest, written by Mark Miller and art by Mike Wieringo, the colors by Richard Case, Superman and Batman team up in the vein of the present day world's finest. Their enemies are Owak, the one-woman adversary chamber, real name Lori Lombard, who pined for Superman, and the Laughing Virus himself, purportedly the ghost of Bruce Wayne's own Joker. The Laughing Virus has a supernatural ability to possess any human or machine. Surprisingly, after traveling to the fifth dimension, the laughing virus actually manages to possess Superman. His face twists into a familiar grin. The son of tomorrow is playing host to a celebrity guest. He laughs. But the mirth is short lived as Superman expels the laughing virus from his mind. Superman has 10 senses more than the average human in DC 1 million. He's more powerful than the gravitational pull of a collapsing star, after all. And among them are super ESP, 5D vision, and the ability to fly from Earth to the edge of the galaxy in 1 hour. The supervillains of DC 1 million have advanced, but so have the heroes. Unfortunately, the world of DC 1 million was seldom revisited after 1998. The revelation of DC's hypertime means the particular future is just one of many possibilities. Thus, the laughing virus version of Joker may never come to be a reality, which is ultimately good news for Batman. This was a 1998 comic. I never heard of it.
I have a Superman 1 million comic. I've never read it. It was one that I have for sale. I wonder if I still have it in my inventory. But
I'd be interested in that.
But it was like I looked at it like his costume was, I ain't gonna say completely different because it still had the red and blue in it, but it was like it had gloves and footies instead of boots.
Uh-huh.
So it looked kind of weird. And then I've seen a Batman 1 million. And I was kind of like, okay, like I never could understand the premise of it till I kind of thumbed through it and realized like this is set far into the future. So like,
right, like real
okay.
far.
Yeah.
Too far from me. Too far from me.
That's
it
too
might
far.
cryogenically freeze you, Stu, and you wake up a million years later.
That would be the best way they have to do me because, I mean, look, that's too far, bro. That's just because you already got the Legion of Superheroes. So how far in the future is it? Because they're supposed to be very far into the future.
They said 853 centuries. So like this is the 21st century. It'd be the 853rd century.
So that would even far exceed the Legion of Superheroes.
The Legion of Superheroes,
Yeah.
right? So you
I
just
think
so
it's
like
cool. It's a cool premise though. Like each member having a planet to preside over. You know, Batman's got Pluto, the dark planet, right? Green Arrow got Earth, the green planet. Mercury's named after the speed
Flash.
god. So that's Flash.
Speedster.
Right. I wonder who has Mars. You know, but like
Martian Manhunter, I would
Martian
assume.
Manhunter, yeah, I would have said. Yeah.
right.
Wonder
Now,
Woman
does
would probably be
Superman have a
Venus.
sun? Yeah, Wonder Woman be Venus. But I'd be interested to check that out. Like that sounds interesting. I'm a sci-fi dude. So that sounds like something. So yeah, if you have that, Spade, let me know. I want to see that comic.
All right. If I find it, I'll like send DM it to you and check it out.
Right. Absolutely. I think that sounds cool as hell.
DC 1 million. Yeah.
Yeah. DC 1 million sounds dope. But you know,
Hey,
speaking of Batman villains, we was talking about villains we would like to see in live action. And they've got this cool little thing here. It says like the 5 villains they want to see and don't want to see. 10, the one they want to see, Clayface. They said he is the perfect Batman supervillain for a noir thriller. He can transform into anybody, which would force Batman into using his detective skills to figure out the real Clayface. There have been many versions of Clayface, but the most popular one is Basil Carlo, the Basil Carlo iteration. He's appeared in many Batman media as the enemy, most prominently as the final boss in Batman Arkham City, and as part of Harley Quinn's crew in the series Harley Quinn. One they don't want to see in live action is Man-Bat. Dr. Kurt Langstrom became Man-Bat. Yeah, Man-Bat isn't.
Oh man.
Nah, he ain't too popular. He's not too popular. Nobody really.
Dope, they got. I mean, they doing Morbius. Marvel doing Morbius. Man-Bat isn't nearly as interesting as some of the other Batman villains. He wouldn't fit into a detective noir movie. He could, however, work as a secondary villain or anti-hero. A creature resembling the Man-Bat has appeared in the DCEU in Bruce Wayne's Nightmare. So as an actual version, may not be so far off. But
Right.
who would we want to see? Red Hood. Hell
Yeah, we
yeah.
gotta see Red Hood, man.
Hell
And we
yeah.
do Clayface. They gotta do Matt Hagen. You gotta do Matt Hagen if you're gonna do Clayface. I mean,
Okay.
because Matt Hagen was probably the one we saw the most in the comics and the cartoons, and his story is a lot more realistic.
So why do they say Basil Carlo?
He's the newer
He's the
incarnation,
newer incarnation, yeah,
and
the
like
newest one. He's
in the DC Rebirth when they started Detective Comics, he's kind of like he's more.
he was the first one. He was
Yeah, I
actually
was
the
gonna say
original version of
I was gonna say
Clayface.
he's
Yeah,
kind of like
he's the
I'm gonna
original
use
version.
wrestling terminology, babyface, but he is kind of like on the good guy side now, so he's fighting along with Batman.
That's why they said
Um,
anti-hero.
I don't know if that's my mic or what going like that.
What it's doing?
Yeah,
Uh,
You muted yourself?
I can hear you, but it sounds like you're muted. Or
Me?
yeah,
I still sound muted?
it's not muted, but distorted.
Really?
oh, okay.
How do I
What
sound to you,
about you,
Stu?
Stu?
Now you sound fine to me.
Okay.
Everybody sounds good to me.
Okay.
Coming
Yeah,
through
everybody
I don't
loud and
sounds
know.
clear.
good to me
I
too.
hear something weird in my phone. So
Well, anybody in the chat, let me know if my mic sounds funky to you and see if I could work on it. Shout out Lito's Way in the chat. He said, could Azrael work, or is he not enough of a villain? He would be more of an anti-hero, I think, right?
there we go.
Yeah, he would. I mean, if they did, you know what,
Oh,
Bruno, if they did the Azrael story, that would be dope. Like if they
I
did
think
that
so.
story, and then because he actually was supposed to take over for Batman, but
Right.
he became like a Jason Todd type character where he just was like, look, man, I'm tired of catching these jokers. Let's just give out work. And you could have Batman come back and have to put an end to his tyranny or whatever you want to call it. And they actually have written comics about that. Where that's happened. Like so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Azrael will work. I
Yeah.
would love to see Azrael. I
Hell
would like to
yeah.
see Clayface, but not the Carlo Bassett. I'd like to
Right.
see
Right.
I like to see Matt Hagen. I like to see Matt Hagen. Matt Hagen
you
would
know what?
be
See Basil
would be
Carlo play face.
no, I don't want to see Basil Carlo. I don't want to see
Well,
Basil.
Red Hood is perhaps one of Batman's greatest villains, man. After the Joker captures Jason Todd, the Robin, he tortures and kills him. However, he is resurrected by Ra's al Ghul through the Lazarus pit. And while Batman believes he has been dead, Jason returns to Gotham years later as the Red Hood. A live action movie would certainly take inspiration from the animated feature Batman Under the Red Hood, which was dope. Definitely one of the best DC animated joints in my
Oh, the
opinion.
animated movie of that, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was
An
real
appearance
good.
by the Red Hood would no doubt require a lot of backstories and setting up. Fans would have to be, they'd have to know about Death in the Family and Jason Todd.
Oh, they could do it, bro.
Oh yeah,
You
I
could,
think they're
you
definitely
know what? You could do like the Matrix. You could release an anime. Like remember they had the Animatrix that tells you everything that went on
right.
between Matrix 1 and 2. You could release like a little anime. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean? The
mean
Bat Matrix, and
using
then
the
give us
tell
the
people to
movie.
go Batman Under the Red Hood. That's all you got to do.
Right. Yeah, you
But
could get that. We can get that popping.
when we don't want to see the Mad Hatter in live action,
I would like to see
inspired
Mad
by
Hatter.
the
I disagree with that because Mad Hatter's dope. Mad
they
Hatter's
said
dope, bro.
they said Mad Hatter would never work as the main villain of a film. He's far less complex and nefarious than some of the other Batman villains. Although
That's
he can
not
make an
true.
appearance as a minor villain, it wouldn't
That's
make
not true.
sense to such a well-known character to simply be a minor hindrance to Batman, though.
Nah, that's not true. Jervis Tech. All right, there was actually an episode on Batman the animated series where somehow he captured Batman, and you could do the same thing. You could be in a dream.
Yeah,
he could be in your head, and everything could be going wrong for Batman.
because he
And
invented some technology that allows him to
mind
go
control,
into minds and control their minds. Yeah,
right? I mean, there's a lot you could do with Jervis Tech. It's just that people say that because he doesn't fly. He doesn't. He can't. He's no physical match for Batman. Um, he doesn't do anything crazy like that.
I always thought
He's
he was
more
that interesting.
right. He's just mainly he sneaks around and he puts these cards in your hat or whatever,
Right,
or puts a hat on you and he controls your mind, makes you do things you don't, you can't control
right.
yourself or don't want to do. I think it would be that'd be a dope movie, bro. Because
They'd have
look,
to
we
change it
always
because
get the joke.
it
Yeah,
wouldn't
we
be a
always
hat
get the joke.
thing. Yeah, we
Now
always
you
get
could do like but they've done
the
different stuff in
implant,
the
like a little
comics.
hit you with a
Yeah,
dart in your neck and you control your mind, something like
they've done different stuff in the comics. They put on headbands,
right,
hats. He had these cards on one where you stick the card in your ear,
right. The
whatever, they
card, right.
control you. All right, but I mean,
They
come on,
they
we get
kind of
okay,
think of Mad Hatter in the veil of like the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, which is
Yeah,
kind of where the inspiration came from.
right.
But at the same
right,
point in time, in the live action Mad Hatter, again Hollywood nuances everything, so
Yeah,
you can
they
put
would
your own
change.
twist on it. You can make him where he was maybe like a psychologist type who studied your brain, studied your mind, studied mind patterns. He went wrong. He kind of went on a
Invented a
murder
little
streak or
chip.
something like that. Yeah, or
Oh, he
he
told you he
had
put the chip
he
in
had
your
a
phone, your
disagreement with,
smartphone.
huh?
He put the chip in your smartphones, and everybody, if
Yeah.
they got a smartphone,
So it's
he could
like,
trans.
you can put it in modern day time. You can do some of anything with Mad Hatter now, and it's like,
Yeah,
boom, there you go.
yeah, I agree.
And so I'm like, yeah, that would be one. I'm like, I agree with you on that one, Stu. That would be one. I'm like,
Yeah,
he'd be pretty interesting to see live action in a movie. I
yeah.
think you
So
could really, I think you could go either way with it. You can make him a secondary villain, but also at the same point in time, you can make him the main villain.
right, right. Yeah, man. We disagree with Screen Rant. We disagree with Screen Rant. We want to see Mad Hatter in a DC. One that they do want to see, that I definitely want to see, is Talon in the Court of Owls. I can't wait to see Talon in the Court of Owls. Because Court of Owls is a dope ancient secret organization that has operated in Gotham for hundreds of years before Bruce Wayne was born. The leaders of Court of Owls always wear the white owl masks, and they've used murder and crime to develop enormous influence in the world, and they employ assassins known as Talons to commit these murders. The Court of Owls would make the perfect villain or villains for a detective thriller film. Batman would go toe to toe with the entire organization of criminals and assassins. While the Court of Owls appears in Gotham, the show, they will hopefully make a film appearance soon as well. There actually have been some fan theories that the Court of Owls might appear in the Batman, and I like those theories. But I don't know, it's too good to be true. But what do y'all? I mean, I would love to see Court of Owls in this
I would
movie.
love that
Y'all hear
too.
that?
Your Courthouse
Yeah.
would be dope. That would be dope. That would be real dope.
That was
I would love to see that.
when I first read it in New 52. That was one storyline I was not crazy about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it took me a minute, and then I was like, all right, I read other stuff afterwards because it was like Court of Owls. It just seemed it was kind of out of nowhere, and I get it.
They're like the Illuminati, though, right?
Right. Well, yeah, because
Hmm.
I mean, it's like they really ruled Gotham, and they've ruled Gotham for centuries
Yeah.
without anybody knowing that they're there.
Illuminati. I think that's the popularity of the Illuminati, and like on YouTube and the internet, social media, and just because I was watching Illuminati VHS tapes back in the 90s, like them was circulating around the hood, but it has become mainstream culture, pop culture, the Illuminati now. And I think that's when they sort of came up with the Court of Owls, was
Hmm.
during the time of the popularity of the Illuminati. But man, so who they don't want to see, Solomon Grundy. Although Solomon Grundy made his first ever appearance as the Green Lantern villain, he has also appeared in many Batman stories, particularly in Batman: The Long Halloween. He's also shown up as a boss battle in Arkham City, and where he was used by Penguin to try and kill Batman. Grundy's backstory is pretty
Interesting.
fantastical.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is very
he
interesting.
Oh,
is.
Cyrus
He's
Gold.
Cyrus Gold. Yep.
undead, right? Zombie, like something that wouldn't exactly go with the gritty, realistic version of Batman that the upcoming films will definitely be. But Solomon Grundy would stay dead as far as his appearance in movies is concerned. Uh,
Well,
I don't know.
remember, Reno. That's what we said. That's what we always talk about. We got
Hmm.
all right. Batman. When we did the Nolan films, They were great. We liked them. They. It was something we never saw.
Yeah,
But
because Batman had been
it's
so
it's
goofy up to that point.
right. But
After Keaton, then it just got really ridiculous.
right. But now it's time to take Batman back into the comic book world, and we use our so-called matter of fact, the famous and most fabulous thing that we have, our imaginations. I mean, Batman based in reality, it was cool. But guess what? It's getting old now.
I want to see
Um,
I want to see like a midway. I want to see it somewhat
right. We can
realistic,
do right. We
somewhat
can do
comic.
that. And
That's where I
that's
think
yeah.
the Batman is going. I think the Batman
Right.
is going to be somewhat comic-y, but somewhat realistic, and that's why I'm excited for it. I haven't seen it, obviously, but I think it's going to be good. But I just hope that they do shit like that. But Solomon Grundy is like, it just reminds me of how some villains like being known as a Batman villain. Like some villains are known as a villain of whatever hero, but they actually first appeared in something completely unrelated. Um,
Solomon
there's
Grundy.
a few Marvel characters like that.
Solomon Grundy's dope, man. Solomon Grundy's a
Absolutely.
dope villain. You could do a great story with Solomon Grundy. The problem is when you got these other guys, Screen Rant and all them, and no disrespect to anybody. Um, a lot of people are very highly opinionated. So when they don't tell it to you from if these characters like look at it like this, if these characters can hold their own in a comic book,
Yeah.
so why can't they hold their own in a movie?
Well,
I
what I'm
mean,
noticing is that
let's keep it a
mainly
buck.
they're mainly wanting to see characters that could be in real life. Like they don't want to see live action of characters like Man Bat or Solomon Grundy because they couldn't be real. Like there's no
But that goes back to what I said. We
well,
can
yeah,
use our
right.
We can use our
That's
imaginations.
what
I mean,
Screen
if
Rant is
it,
doing.
right, if you think about it, what if comic books just was like, that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna do stuff that could possibly be real. So we won't write Man Bats and we won't write, because if that's the
Yeah,
case, let's just
nah.
take it all out. We won't write Green Lanterns. We won't write, stuff that we don't think could
Can't have nothing.
be
I'm gonna say
feasibly
that you couldn't write anything
Couldn't
then
write nothing.
because
You can only
you
exactly,
write
using your
indies.
imagination. If you go
exactly.
base it
Yeah,
in this world, in our world,
yeah.
then you're gonna have
It
nothing.
would
Just
just
like
be
you
like
said.
indies, realistic, realistic, comics and stuff like that.
Right.
Which there was an
You're
era
right.
there was a big era. There was a big span of time where comic books were only realistic. Like they were crime stuff. Because like they did the superhero thing for a while, and then I think it was maybe in the 50s. At some point they went more realistic or horror. But people want escapism. People
Hmm.
want something that's a fantasy, something that is not of this world. That's why sci-fi is so big and comic books and shit. So I mean, it's like, yeah, like we want those characters, man. And if you would just stick to the content, like
Source
great
material.
content, source
Yes.
material is there. It's like
Yeah,
Eternals. We were talking about that last night. It's like they they had to separate from some of the source material, because it just wouldn't make sense or it would look hokey. It would look corny, like if the deviants were like these big-headed troll guys. Like they had to make it something cooler. But
which
I
we're
still
okay
haven't
with.
yeah, and I still haven't seen Eternals, but the people that I've talked to and people that I do respect their opinions love the movie. They love
Okay.
the
It was great. I said it on the show the other day.
yeah.
Wasn't bad. It was great. I
I
mean,
want to see
listen. Well, I'm not gonna say great. It was a
celestial.
good movie. It was good. It was
Yeah.
good. I don't understand why everybody rags on it so much.
Because they say it's
But it
not
was a good movie.
MCU. It's not action. It's not like MCU. It's dialogue heavy. It's
It is
you
dialogue
know
heavy, but
character based.
they're telling the origin story,
I like
and
the idea
that's
of
right,
of
and
going a different
that's where
route.
we're at with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different kind of Marvel movie. So
But going
that's
back to like Stu, what you were saying with the Batman movies, and especially like the Nolan trilogy. I wasn't a huge fan of the Nolan trilogy. I only liked the Batman Begins. But
mhm.
it's like I'm watching the DC shows like on the CW, like Flash and Arrow and Supergirl, Superman, and all them, Black Lightning and all them. It's like it can be based in reality with still that sci-fi feel to it. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people don't necessarily like the CW show. They call them too hokey, too this, that, another, or whatever. They just too cheesy. I'm like, but they tackle real world elements just in a comic book way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
like, so you can have a Batman movie with Man-Bat or Solomon Grundy in the movie. It's like, look at all, for instance, look at Man of Steel and look at all the CGI that was in that movie. And it
Yeah.
looked real.
Yeah, that was way more
Zod's
realistic.
armor before he had the singlet on was all CGI. And when I first saw it in theater, I was like, damn, they did a really good job crafting his
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
And when
They
I
did.
bought the DVD and looked at the behind the scenes, I'm like, shit, that was all CGI. That was great.
Yeah.
So
And
you
they
can
made it
do it.
more realistic by
Yeah.
making it an alien thing.
So it's like, if you can do that with that and crossing over to the Marvel thing, if you can CGI the Hulk, you can CGI Man-Bat, you can CGI
That's what I
Solomon
thought.
Grundy.
Yeah.
All you got to do is same thing that they do: motion sensors, and boom, the CGI.
Yeah, you can mocap. Look, we mocap Lord of the Rings with Gollum. Gollum
Yeah.
was just straight mocap the
Yeah.
whole
A
film.
lot of
And
characters
people
now.
loved it. Yeah,
I mean,
people loved it.
look at the DC.
They won an
Look
award
at,
for it.
yeah, look at your boy who was the villain in the Snyder cut?
Steppenwolf.
Cyborg,
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf.
Yeah, Steppenwolf straight CGI, like mocap, like
Mhm.
all of them. You know, it's cool.
Thanos was mocap.
Yeah,
Thanos was mocap. Straight CGI. So, like I said, it's just these. You got these guys, and they're writing these articles, and they're giving us their opinion. Like when we've talked about it on the show before, the needs of the many are greater than the needs of the few or the one. So just because one or two people are like, oh, we think it should be okay, so how much realism do you want? When do we
Well,
start using our
for
imaginations again?
example, they said they want to see Hugo Strange. You know, that's a real guy. They say he would make a perfect villain in a detective thriller, and fans have yet to see him on the big screen. Hugo Strange's most widely known appearance yet has been seen as the main villain in Batman Arkham City, although the character was in Gotham, played by B.D. Wong. And they don't want to see Firefly. They said he's Firefly was originally depicted as Garfield Lynns, a special effects creator who used his specialized knowledge of pyrotechnics to commit crimes, but Lynns was later reimagined as a sociopathic pyromaniac. This version has still been used popularly, most prominently in the Batman Arkham series. He's also appeared in CW's Arrow and Gotham. However, he has always been more of an annoyance and an impediment to Batman rather than a true supervillain. A character who is great in small doses, but ultimately a hindrance. Firefly should be one of the last villains to be brought into a live-action Batman film. I kind of agree on that. If not a side villain, like a sidekick or a mini villain.
But see, that's what I was gonna say. You could do him as a minor villain,
right?
You know, in the movie, and that would work.
Yeah. Yeah, but who they want to see, and I'm definitely agreeing on this one, is Hush. I can't fucking wait. I would love to see a Hush movie.
Wait, time out. Time out. Wait a minute. Okay, we want to see Hush, right?
Definitely want to see Hush,
but we don't want to see Firefly, and we don't want to see Jervis Tech. There ain't too much difference between Jervis Tech and Hush. I mean,
well, Hush is just
I don't see it. I don't see it. Right?
Gauze on his face.
Right. He's got gauze, and he's Hush. Like it's nothing. The Hush, the storyline. The story behind Hush was great.
Yeah, one of the most popular comic book storylines in Batman history. He's even been adapted into an animated film. Dr. Tommy Elliott was a childhood friend of Bruce Wayne, who later took on the identity of Hush. He had attempted to murder his parents and held a grudge against the Waynes after Bruce Wayne's managed to save his mother. Batman Hush is a psychological detective thriller that would be perfect for a live-action Batman adaptation. He's the literary foil of Batman, both rich orphans with genius-level intellects. But while one chooses to be a superhero, the other chooses to be a villain. Hush made his first live-action appearance in Gotham and has also appeared in the CW's Batwoman. I didn't see those episodes yet. I haven't.
Because nobody watches Batwoman. I'm being
well,
honest.
yeah,
Batwoman. Spade might be the only person in the Spade's the only person in the U.S. that watches Batwoman.
I watch Batwoman. Season 2 was a lot better than season 1 to me.
Okay.
I watched a little bit of it, but I just
I
couldn't get
didn't watch
into
it.
it,
I
man.
couldn't get into it.
Couldn't
It
get
was
into
really
it. I watched about maybe 4 episodes, and I was just like, you know what? I can't do this, and I'm not going to do this to myself. So I let back, and then they switched to Batwoman. I haven't watched it since the new Batwoman came.
When you watch it, or if I'm gonna say if you watch it, but if slash when you watch it just like season 2 is the beginning, because
Okay,
it has a totally different dynamic than season 1. It has callbacks to season 1, but
Right.
it's a totally different dynamic to it because of the lead actress.
right.
And so the Hush, the Tommy Elliott in there, which I never understood this about certain DC shows, why you can use a Bruce Wayne, but you can't use a Batman in the show, in live action. So
Because
Tommy,
Warner Brothers owns Batman,
yeah, I
and
get that. I
but
mean, I
not the Bruce,
understand that, but it's
yeah,
just
but not
like,
the Bruce Wayne persona.
but I'm like, that's just, that's dumb. It's like you're not gonna really have a minus Smallville, but you're not gonna really have a Clark Kent without Superman. And Smallville was
That's
about
true.
Clark becoming Superman.
That's
So
true.
you're gonna have different shows like, oh, we can mention Bruce Wayne, Batwoman, Titans, Gotham. We can't mention
Yeah,
Batman.
that's weird because it is this still Warner Brothers, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah,
Hmm.
Warner Brothers owns that, and they own and DC is owned by Warner Brothers. So there's really nobody that can use Bruce Wayne and not Batman.
But my point was gonna be like, you see a Bruce Wayne in there because it's Tommy Elliott, and he does his face where constructs his face where he looks just like Bruce Wayne, so he takes Bruce's identity. Now,
Mhm.
in I think toward the end of season 1 and some beginning of season 2, you actually see him wrapped up in the bandages as Hush. He looks
Yeah,
great. He looks comic book actor.
right. Yeah,
That's what we want.
that's dope. Yeah, that's
So
what we
like
want.
the only thing I would worry about Hush in a live action movie is revisiting the origin of Batman, because I'm like, then you kind of have to show the parallels of them two growing up and Bruce's parents being murdered, Tommy trying to
Yeah,
help his parents and stuff. And I'm like, we've seen uh, hundreds of times in dozens of movies
Right.
Bruce Wayne's origins, his parents being murdered. It's just like, can we move on from that?
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. Um, so the last one that they don't want to see, this is one that I definitely it's one of my
Well,
favorites,
let it
but
go. Let's go. Let it
I
go.
can't see it, man.
Let
I
it
mean,
go.
it would be real corny in a live action movie, but the ventriloquist. To have a guy with a fucking Charlie McCarthy doll sitting there, it would be kind of stupid. But
Nah, I
as
don't think
far as
so. I think
supervillains go,
I think it'd be dope.
Arnold
Why? Wait
Wexler
a
is
minute.
known
Why?
as the
Why not?
ventriloquist.
Why wouldn't the ventriloquist be dope?
Well, if introduced as a supporting villain, the ventriloquist would definitely be a good hindrance. But sadly, the character simply cannot carry a movie on his own. Perhaps he can be shown as part of Black Mask's gang if he's ever brought back in the DCEU in the future movies. As of now, but it should remain.
Well, wait a
Oh,
minute. But in the Batman animated series,
oh
the
yeah,
ventriloquist was in there,
yeah,
and they had a couple episodes. I mean, it was interesting. It did well.
yeah. I
I
liked
can't
it.
say
I
anything
mean,
bad about it.
no, I like ventriloquist. Like I said, he's got that gangster style to him. Hold on, man. I'm gonna give you some juice. Gotta feed
Well, you
Zark.
know what it is, Reno, because the puppet is actually like a gangster, but
Right.
the guy, is a little
Scarface.
nerdy guy that's right. It's a little nerdy guy that's doing the voice and everything. So
Right.
you could, I mean, look, it's a lot you could do with that. I think if you had some, if you let DC writers write that story and write
Yeah.
that movie, I think it would be something dope.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, as
Ventriloquist is a case like almost like Two-Face, a split personality.
it's personality, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
is
So
it,
like
like,
the
is it one
Two-Face work, right?
guy with a puppet, or is that puppet a real supernatural creature in some
see,
way?
that's where the mystery lies in Reno,
Right.
because it's like
Right.
people thinking that, oh well, Wesker himself thinking Scarface is alive, but like people like
Yeah.
you and me would see him as an inanimate object.
Right.
And it's
Right.
all in Wesker's head because of that split personality. He's got one side that's dominant as Scarface, the other side is Wesker, who thinks he answers to this creature, to this puppet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Smeagol and Golem.
But is he a
It's the
puppet though?
same person,
Because
but it's two different people.
yeah. I never thought of him as a puppet though. I thought of him as a little midget, like a little tiny man, excuse me, a little person who sat on the lap or this big giant guy carried him around like Master Blaster from
Oh, from
what you
yeah.
call it? Mad Max.
Mad Max.
But as far as supervillains go, Wesker is known as the ventriloquist. Isn't exactly the worst of the worst. He's a ruthless crime boss and has certainly an interesting character, being ventriloquist with multiple personalities who carries a dummy named Scarface, but is another character who is just a minor villain. I don't know. Like the comic books that I seen him in, it didn't seem like he was a dummy. It seemed like he
He's
was
not.
alive.
Right.
Like
But
he
that's the
wasn't a
whole point.
doll.
That's the whole point. Because even in the cartoon, when the villains were talking to him, they were talking to the ventriloquist. And then
Right.
the puppet would be like, "Yo, don't speak to him. You speak to me, dummy."
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like he was
Right.
like, "I'm running this show here," and then he would be getting into an argument with himself. So he'd be arguing.
Yeah.
The puppet would actually be arguing with the ventriloquist, and then they were like, "Well," even had like the henchman believe like yeah, he's in charge. Like like the
Yeah.
puppet is in
'Cause the
charge. Like that's the one
puppet
we
is
answer to.
yeah, and he
They
controls
ended up
the
buying into it.
guy.
Right.
But he says it's funny because he pronounces all his B's with a G in the comics. So anything that would normally be spelled with the letter B, they put a G. They put a G, and that's because when a ventriloquist is talking, in order to say words without their mouth moving, they can't pronounce letters like B because it'll their lips would move. So
Right.
they have to use like a G sound. So they say and instead of bring that over here, they'd say bring that over here, but it would the way they say it, you hear it as a B. That's the art of
That's
ventriloquism.
the art.
I
Right.
think that's dope how they did that in the comic, putting all the B's as G's and shit. That was just a cool thing they did to add to that. But I don't know. I think I can't, man. I would love to see it because he was definitely one of my favorite.
You know, they made a second ventriloquist at one time. They killed off Wesker, and it was a lady that took over.
Ah,
Yeah.
See if I can find it real quick in here in the old encyclopedia. Yep, the current version. Her name is Shauna Belzer, and right there is a picture of her.
And then the doll, he doesn't look like a gangster at all.
No, that's a different doll.
Yeah,
That's a different one. Yeah, that's her version. But the other one, he looked like a gangster.
Yeah, he was Scarface. He had the white suit with
that was
fedora. Right, he had looked like
hat.
Al Capone. Right, he looked like Al Capone. That was the whole deal. Suicide Squad's original ending death would have made the movie worse. It says Suicide Squad kills off lots of characters, but there was one James Gunn planned to kill and changed his mind, which would have made the film worse. James Gunn original ending for the Suicide Squad, we've seen a different character dying, and their death would have made the movie worse as a result. The Suicide Squad has a lot of character deaths right off from the beginning. It isn't shy about killing most of the members of the new Task Force X from the first action sequence up to the final battle against Starro. Characters are killed in a variety of ways, with eponymous team eventually whittled down to just a few survivors. That's another character, Starro, that I was surprised to see, but that can only be in a movie like Guardians.
Yeah.
Or Suicide Squad, that type of character.
Right.
It's just big starfish on your face. But yeah, okay, so who are they talking about? Who did they kill at the end?
None of the main characters died.
Peacemaker did.
Peacemaker, but
Was it? Okay. It said many of the Suicide Squad deaths come early on and are designed for a quick impact rather than a lasting one. But Gunn isn't shy about delivering the occasional gut punch either. As the film enters the third act, characters that the audience has come to love throughout the film, such as Rick Flag and Polka Dot Man, are oft in a particularly emotional moment. But even for the director, there was one character Gunn planned to kill, then couldn't bring himself to: Ratcatcher 2. According to Gunn, he originally pitched the ending where Ratcatcher 2 died rather than the Polka Dot Man, but changed his mind because she was so sweet and it felt like it was too dark. It's a slice of pie. Yeah, man. Yeah, that
You gotta love it.
yeah, you got to. And that movie was great. Like I loved how they just killed that first team right off. Like you had your boy that played Yondu, right? First guy, first character, and they kind of build him up like he's gonna be a main character in the movie, and then boom, he dies in the first scene, and it was like,
that's Savant. Yeah, when they kill Savant. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit. Like that's why I love Game of Thrones. That's why I love, Soprano. That's why I love shows or movies where there's real stakes. Like your favorite character could die. Like they're not protected because they're the star of the show. And that's, to me, is good writing, man. So I like when they do stuff like that. That captured me right away.
or like The Walking Dead. Walking Dead is the same thing.
Walking Dead is exactly yes.
Yeah, because in the comic, if you compare the comic to the TV show, everybody dies except for pretty much at the end, Rick, Michonne, and Negan. But
Shane
Kirkman said he will never kill Negan. Said Negan will never die. So he will never kill Negan. Said, he'll put Negan on the shelf. He'll do whatever, but he's never gonna kill Negan.
Yeah, that's his favorite. I mean, the governor died, but yeah, Negan's mad popular though.
Yeah, he is. He's really popular. So he said he'll never kill Negan. But I mean, I get it. But in the comic, everybody, and then some of the characters, there are a lot of major. I can't even say subtle differences. A lot of major differences between the characters, personas in the comic based on the TV show. And of course, we know what's his name is a made up character for the TV show, so he won't. Daryl won't die on the TV show either,
right?
Because he was specifically made for the show.
Yeah. That was another big one. Like when they killed your boy the
Glenn.
What's his name? Glenn. Yeah.
Glenn.
That was
Glenn died in the comic the same way. He died the same way in the comic. Yeah, and he killed him.
Yeah. Everybody's like, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Because I know they ain't gonna keep it Glenn because that'll give it away. They everybody thought it was gonna be someone else.
Nah, they kept it Glenn. They kept it gangster.
They kept
it was dope. I liked it. Yeah.
That was one thing about Suicide Squad, man. Like in the books, you never knew who was gonna go out when they go out on a mission, who's coming back. And that is one thing I can say I liked about the second movie. However, again, I just wish it had a darker tone to it.
See, that's what he was trying to avoid, I guess, and it's too bad, man, because that was.
They probably sat him in the room, Reno, and they said, "Can you make Suicide Squad Guardians of the Galaxy, but Suicide Squad? Can you give us a Suicide Squad version of Guardians of the Galaxy?"
And that's why they picked James Gunn. He's the guy he's the one that did Guardians of the Galaxy. So they had him do Suicide Squad because they knew he could do that. They was like, yeah, we want that. We want it to be like that. So yeah, it did not have a dark vibe to it because it was supposed to be another Guardians, and just like yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time, how everything is cookie cutter Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, everything since Guardians has been a comedy or comedy like or whatever. And like that's how Eternals. That's why Eternals was they didn't like it because everybody kept but that's bullshit because the critics, they all say, they always like, give us something different, you keep doing Guardians.
But we get right. Give us something different.
Give them something different. And they don't like
it. When they don't like
it's
it.
too different. Right. I don't like it because it's different.
Right.
There's always like in wrestling, there's always a spot for comedy. but your whole routine should not be based around comedy. You got to have your light-hearted moments. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but it can't be like we're gonna, like you said, copy and
Like,
paste.
The Rock used to be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The Rock was hilarious. Yeah.
And see, it's like when he does Black Adam, I don't expect there to be much comedy in that movie.
I hope not.
It's gonna have it's gonna have your lighthearted moments. It's got to.
But I
But
hope he is not lighthearted. I hope
no,
Black
I
Adam.
don't think he's gonna be lighthearted. I think Black Adam himself gonna be a hard ass.
I
And
just don't know if
you
Dwayne
might
Johnson
catch like
can
a
play.
dry humor joke, but I highly doubt it's gonna be where it's like you're looking at you expect to see like he was in The Ring or in one of his other movies like The Game Plan or something like that. You're not gonna see that at all.
He shouldn't be cracking jokes and doing silly shit at
Mm-mm.
all.
No, because that's not Black Adam.
At all. But I know Stu, you gotta be going, man. But I appreciate you coming on, man, and kicking it with us. Of course, it's been fun as always, man. And we will definitely see you Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. Hip hop and comics right here. Stu Dog will be back.
Salute.
Peace, brother.
There you go.
Peace.
Peace out, Stu.
Peace out. Yeah. Man, we got to wrap it up, but I wanted to talk about one more thing. Green Lantern, they said he just made his most unforgettable construct ever. Green Lanterns had the power to conjure anything they could think of, and now in an epic battle against Darkseid, Hal Jordan has truly outdone himself. So I was interested to see what they was talking about. He's made some impressive constructs, but this one is his most impressive, fighting against Darkseid, the dark god known as Darkseid. Suffice to say, constructing a bunch of highly accurate green versions of every member of the Justice League is something that fans won't soon be forgetting. Shown in the 7th and final issue of Justice League Last Ride, Chip Zdarsky, one of my favorite authors, and Miguel Mendonca. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. How is it spelled? How do you say it?
I want to say it's Mendoza.
Okay. Mendonca. Mendonca.
Yeah.
Green Lantern Hal Jordan has finally regained his powers after being possessed by Darkseid, making matters worse, but by also unknowingly tricking the League into bringing the villain back to life in physical form. Wanting to restart his battle world known as Apocalypse in order to unleash his boom nukes and Green Lantern-like power on an unsuspecting universe. Darkseid is at the pinnacle of his evil power, and the Justice League are having a hard time beating him back. Finally reacquiring his lantern abilities via harnessing the Green Lantern energy Darkseid repurposed to rebirth Apocalypse, Hal Jordan used his powered up state to conjure an army of emerald-tinged warriors to combat Darkseid forces. But what makes this latest feat of willpower so impressive isn't just the amount of constructs Hal was able to make at once, but who the constructs are based on in the first place. Definitely defiantly arriving on the battlefield, Hal Jordan confronts Darkseid, declaring that if he wants to win, he'll have to go through the Justice League, not just the version of the team he's currently fighting, backed by a sea of green consisting of nearly every League member not already on Apocalypse. Hal sends his Jade Warriors into battle with construct versions of Aquaman, Zatanna, Green Arrow, Dr. Fate, Blue Beetle, Nightwing, Batgirl, Supergirl, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Vixen, and Cyborg. Members of the Shazam family, Big Barda, Power Girl, Mr. Miracle, Red Tornado, Starfire, Firestorm, and more, giving it all to squash Darkseid and his minions.
Dang.
That's crazy, man. Forming what basically amounts to the largest roster of Justice League ever assembled. This event not only a feat that rivals the powers of the best Green Lanterns in the galaxy, like John Stewart, Kyle Rayner, and Guy Gardner, but the entirety of the Green Lantern Corps combined. Often able to make wild and extravagant constructs like giant fighter jets, fists, and oversized versions of himself, Hal has already outdone himself has really outdone himself this time by creating a sort of greatest hits of leaguers and topping it all off by creating them strong enough to hold their own against Darkseid's similarly conjured army. It's like, that's crazy. And I wonder, do they shout out M Larbert, Jim Me. Man, Jim Me came just as Stu left. I know Stu would want to he would have wanted to talk to Jim Me. He said, "Greetings to you three and everyone here in the chat. I would like to have a fat comic cover for my next my next episode, maybe. However, I don't know anyone who could make something like that. Do you know anyone? Can you help me there? Have a fat comic cover for my next ep." Oh, EP. Okay, so guys, Jimmy's an MC in Germany. He's a rapper, and what he's talking about, he wants a comic cover for his next album cover or his EP cover. Yeah, I mean, I know artists that do stuff, comic artists and things like that.
Yeah, I do too.
Hit me up. Yeah, it's, we both do. Yeah, definitely hit us up. DM us on Instagram. You know the name. But yeah, that we could do that. But yeah, like when I first heard about this, I was wondering, is he able to give these constructs their powers? Like, is Supergirl coming as Supergirl with Supergirl's powers? Or is it just, what can they do?
That is where it kind of gets gray area, so to speak. Because like Stu said, yeah, a Green Lantern ring can scan something and definitely, tell the properties of whatever it. I'm assuming just inanimate objects. I don't know about, live action. Can it repeat the powers? But I would assume that it can repeat, because it does have power. It can repeat some of the powers, maybe physical, like flight, super speed, and super strength. I don't necessarily know if it could do like Supergirl or Superman's heat vision or freeze breath, but it might, it might can imitate their flight and strength and speed patterns.
Right.
So that's the only thing I'm like I said, I'm not too sure on it. Stu might know more about that than I do, but I'm like, I can research and find out and leave it in the comments once I go back and watch the show.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like, man, imagine having legions and legions of Justice Leaguers, and they having to fight Darkseid now. I'm like, now you getting into who is really the most powerful in the universe.
Yeah, because that's what I'm looking at it right now. It's a comic that he does it in, and I had heard about this, about him doing this, but it is in it's made on the most suppressed. Trying to see what comic it's in. Okay, in the 7th and final issue of Justice League Last Ride. Oh man, I didn't even know that's what that was. So I have some of it. I have Justice League Last Ride, #1. I didn't know it was Chip Zdarsky though. See, yeah, Chip Zdarsky, and we may have him on this show one day soon. I want to definitely get Chip on here.
Sweet.
But yeah, because like I got 3 authors that if I see their name on it, I'm buying it. I'm getting it because I already know it's dope. And that's Jonathan Hickman, Al Ewing, and Chip Zdarsky. I already know if they wrote it, it's good. Like, they have not failed me yet. And some of my favorite. Like, Chip Zdarsky made me a Daredevil fan, like a real, like, buying Daredevil comics. Like, Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil, insane, phenomenal. Like, I couldn't believe how good it was. Like, yeah, I rock with that hard.
So he wrote this Justice League Last Ride series.
Yeah. Yep.
I might pick it. I think I was talking to Cooks about it yesterday, and I was like, I think I miss it, so I'm gonna pick it up in graphic form and just read it, read the whole thing, and like that way I have it, and like pretty good. Be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. Now that I know I have it, that's cool. I'm gonna read it because I knew I had Justice League Last Ride, but I wasn't fully aware that it was Zdarsky though. But I think I only have #1. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely start reading that. That sounds awesome. definitely a good way to get into DC. That's what I love about how authors can write for DC or Marvel, because it's like if I'm a Marvel guy and I'm reading, by a certain author, I know Chip Zdarsky's dope, and I
Mhm.
find out he's doing a DC thing. Okay, cool. Now, if I want to get into DC, I go by a writer I know. I know
Mhm.
Al Ewing is doing something in DC right now. That's dope. I forgot what it was, but Al Ewing is doing something in DC also. So, yeah, that's really cool, man. And I don't know if Hickman's done any DC yet.
I don't think he has yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But
He might
that's cool.
exclusively be Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, he might be Marvel right now. Speaking of Black Adam and Marvel, real quick before we go, I thought this was fun. Black Adam versus Thor, who'd win a comics battle? Marvel DC have several lightning-based magic wielders, but almost none are as powerful as Thor or Black Adam. If they fought, who would win? Two of DC Marvel's most powerful titans are Thunder are Black Adam and Thor. They both lightning, thunder kind of base kind of dudes. Both of them wield lightning and remain some of the strongest comic book figures of all time. In terms of their personalities, they're also not so different. Both Thor, Odin's son, and Teth Adam are considered royalty in each of their homes. Furthermore, they both have more than 1,000 years of life under their belts. With that said, who would win if one challenged the other? Most heroes of the DC universe fear the man in black himself, Black Adam, as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, soon to be Black Adam DCEU, calls him. In the comics, Teth Adam lives in Kandak,
Mhm.
a country similar to ancient Egypt. The wizard Shazam chooses Teth as his champion, like how he chooses Billy Batson to be DC's Captain Marvel Shazam. Teth becomes Black Adam using his powers for selfish and evil reasons. Because of this, the wizard Shazam banishes him to the furthest reaches of space. He eventually returns to Kandak in modern comics and takes over as its new dictator. Adam has the same powers as Captain Marvel: flight, super strength, super speed, powerful lightning attacks, and additional magical abilities. But his actions are far more ruthless. He usually makes examples of his enemies by dismembering them or frying them with lightning powers. Thanks to Marvel Cinematic Universe, most people who know know who Thor Odinson is. In Marvel Comics, Thor has similar origins to the MCU. He learns humility on Midgard and decides to defend the universe as an Avenger. Thor frequently battles some of Marvel's most destructive villains, such as Galactus and Thanos. Thor also has a pure heart, allowing him to wield his hammer, Mjolnir. He has a complete control over it, and over the Uru hammer, as it helps him smash his foes, fly, and summon lightning. It's common for Thor to face defeat, but even if he does, he would just, come back from the halls of Valhalla, where the mightiest warriors rest in Asgard. Okay, so in a fight between Adam and Thor, it would be a close match. Both of them have extreme levels of magical power. Of course, it's important to note that Thor defeated Captain Marvel, the hero that Adam usually loses to, in the 1996 DC vs. Marvel crossover comics, which were pretty cool. Using his trusty hammer, Thor was able to deflect the living lightning that turns Billy into Shazam, thus preventing him from transforming into his powered self. If Thor can defeat the hero that constantly wins against Black Adam, he can likely defeat Black Adam as well. Black Adam is more ruthless than Billy Batson, though, but the kid superhero commonly tricks Teth with simple tricks. Thor knows a thing or two about tricks thanks to his brother Loki. What's up?
Hmm.
All right. Okay. I'll talk to you in a minute. Just watching these two champions of DC and Marvel duke it out would be a super action pack. However, in the end, Thor has a slight edge over Black Adam, despite having the mind of a ruler. Black Adam faces constant defeat against children. That's just cold. This, on the other hand, usually trumps over the mightiest of his enemies. Black Adam would likely be just another name under Thor's list of victories. Man, what do you think about that?
I actually think in a fight, Thor could beat Shazam, but I don't think he would beat Black Adam.
And technically, they didn't say he beat Shazam in a fight. They said he deflected the lightning that made Billy Batson turn into Shazam. So he just prevented him from becoming Shazam. That's not the same as beating Shazam.
Right.
So that don't mean
So
nothing. He ain't gonna stop Black Adam
exactly,
from becoming Black Adam. He gonna have to fight him.
he gonna have to
I
fight.
think whoever wrote this was
And I'm like,
clearly a Thor fan. It's a little
yeah.
bit
And then
biased. Sounds a little biased.
they've never actually read anything with Black Adam in it. Because I'm like, oh, he's ruthless, which he is. So that right there, number one, that gives him an advantage. Number two,
Yeah, because Thor's
Black Adam
never
ain't no dummy.
right.
He's very smart and calculating and planning. Yeah, he's headstrong too, but he just ain't gonna be like, oh, blah blah. Like he does have plans now. He
Yeah.
does know how to strategize.
And Thor is mad headstrong. Like Thor's never been known for his like genius intellect. Okay.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm a little bit leaning towards Black Adam on that, but it ultimately it depends. Listen, people do this all the time. Who will win, Goku or One Punch Man? Like it depends on
Depends
whose
on who's right.
universe they're in. If
Mhm.
Goku's in One Punch Man world, One Punch Man kills anyone with one punch. It's a satire. You can't beat him. That's the joke. That's his power.
Exactly.
Is you can't beat him. If he's over in Dragon Ball Z, Goku's just gonna get a higher power level that helps him beat him. That's just what they do over there. It's the same thing with this. It depends if he's in DC world or Marvel world. If he's over in Marvel, Thor's gonna figure out a way to beat him. If it just depends.
And like you said, it depends on who's writing, and it also depends on the story they're writing.
Right.
Because it is like the age-old question with Superman versus Batman, and I'm like, logically, naturally, Superman would beat him. But in the story, whoever telling the story is like, all right, Batman's figuring this out. He's like, all right, I know he's weak. He's weak to kryptonite and he's mind and magic. So if I can figure this stuff out or figure a way to make a solar eclipse or eclipse him or whatever, I got him beat. He strategizes.
Yeah.
If it's right for the story, whoever is right for the story is going to win.
Right. And if it's someone writing for Superman, they say he just flies up to Batman and squeezes him and pops him like a chicken bone, and then it's over. So it's like, come on.
Just like the Injustice storyline when Superman killed Joker. Like, all right, Joker tricked him into killing Lois. Sue's got mad and punched a hole through the Joker.
Yeah.
So it worked for the storyline. And who was left to stop him? Batman and the insurgents.
Exactly. Yeah. It completely depends on who's writing it, guys. But that's always fun. I don't know. It's fun to talk about who would win and stuff like that. But
I still think Shazam would get thought of.
Yeah, it's like that's not really a good explanation on who would win to me.
He deflected his lightning. Like, okay, well, if you deflect his lightning, he stayed Billy Batson, Thor probably win.
Yeah.
But like I said, with Black Adam, no.
Yeah, because come on, man, it depends on who. Well, it's like he didn't beat him because he didn't fight him. He just stopped him from becoming Shazam. That was clever, but he ain't gonna stop Black Adam from becoming Black Adam. So
nope,
that's out the door. That's how he be. So you can't use his fight with Shazam as any sort of, any sort of like gauge of what. Nah, not at all. But all right, guys, that was fun. It's an hour and 18 minutes in. We had a good show. Thank you guys for hanging out. Shout out to Jimmy, Diamond Onyx, Lito's Way, Corey Adger, everybody in the chat that said what's up. If you didn't say nothing in the chat, that's cool. Say something in the comments, man. We need comments too, guys. Come on, leave them comments. Them comments help our channel. Like, it's not just you don't have nothing to say. Just type good show, guys, or whatever. Any comment helps the channel. So please hit the like button. Please share this video and please leave a comment. All right. Check us out Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for hip hop and comics. This is Reno Noir, sixth element of hip hop, and this is my co-host.
I'm Spade from Spadeonomics Comics.
And where can they find you, Spade, on Instagram and YouTube?
Spadeonomics Comics on Instagram, at Spadeonomics on Twitter, and channel 1 ACE7 on YouTube.
Boom, there you go. And I'm on Instagram at @6th_element_comics. Check us out. Remember the big promotion. We're giving away a free short box 150 plus comics are in this short box. No dollar bin crap. These are good comics. The value of this short box is estimated right now between $1,000 and $1,500. All right. So these are good comics that is in this box. And we're topping that off with 4 slabs. I'm not sure what slabs they are, but they're slabs 9.8s. So you're going to get a short box, 150 plus comics, all great comics, good shit, worth at least about $1,500 plus 4 slabs. You win that absolutely free. All you got to do is shop with the Madman of Comics on Instagram, myself and 6 others. You can find the list on Instagram, DM me. But just spend $50 with any of us, and your name, free name, goes for free on the wheel. We spin the wheel December 4th, and whatever name it lands on gets to take that crazy prize never seen before. So I will see y'all, man, on Instagram, and I'll see you back here Monday, 6:30 p.m.
Take a chance, people, because it'll make a good Christmas gift.
Telling you. I mean,
for
imagine.
for somebody that geek in your life, or for yourself if you are that geek in your life.
Exactly. And imagine a short box full of comics is a start of a collection for some people. So if you're new to comics, like a lot of people that watch our show, if you're new to comics, you want to get into comics, you want to start your collection off, this is a great way, because not only are you going to win that, but every $50 you spend with me or any of the other Madmen of Comics, you're buying comics right there. And every $50 puts your name on that wheel with another chance to win. So try to win that thing, man. You can start your collection off, or if you've already got a collection, I mean, just what a great addition, a whole nother short box. Maybe you want to start selling comics. You can sell them all, make tons of money. It's up to you, man, but you got to play to win. So all you got to do is shop with us, man. Buy comics and you can get on there. But yeah, man, that's our show, man. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Peace.